The challenge with making progress in our life is it's tough to manage multiple fronts at the same time. Whether you have a title or not, you are a leader. And whether you realize it or not, the skill that you and I can grow in this year that's going to make the most progress for our goals and our roles is leadership. When you learn that leadership is an inside job first, and it's the willingness to get yourself going, to stay the course, and to work on something until you win, that's when leadership begins to click and become real in your heart. And whether you realize it or not, again, you are leading by example. And so it's the way you show up, the way you interact with people, the way you make people feel around you, the way you treat people, the way you train people, the way you trust people, right? Leadership is a people-powered best practice. And that's why I think the leadership conversation needs to be one of the first conversations we have each year, so that way we have a clear direction and the willingness to go through the journey. I want to review real quick a little bit of what we talked about last time, just so that way everybody's on track. The uncharted way is the goal to go into the year inspired, right? Don't drag into this year. Don't dread what's going to happen this year. Don't say, well, 2024 was a bust and 2025 is probably going to be bad too. No, you need to knock that out, and you need to have a hopeful view of your future. You need to look your future in the face and say, hey, I'm smiling, and by the time I finish this year, you're going to be smiling too. And so how do we get that kind of confidence and that kind of resilience? It's by choosing the uncharted way, believing that you and I can make uncharted progress in every direction of our life, north, south, east, and west. And the compass represents different aspects of your life. You and I are multifaceted. I'll use myself as an example. When I introduce myself to people through my coaching, I like to share with them the different aspects of my life. So I'll say, hey, my name is Peter, and I'm a believer. I'm a pioneer at heart, husband to Sarah Joy, girl dad in training. I like to say that for fun. And then I'm a second generation pastor. And I also have a ministry to encourage and coach leaders. So I'll say executive coaching. And what did I just do? I'm setting an example that I identify with these different roles in my life. I'm trying to get really clear on what are the roles that I need to be growing in, so that way I can be a value and a strength to other people. And so your roles are going to look different, but even as you sit right now in that chair, whether you're at your house or your workplace or on the road, you are wearing multiple hats right now. Literally, as you sit, you're just listening to me talk right now, but you're somebody's friend, you're somebody's leader, you're somebody's brother or wife, or we got all kinds of roles and relationships going on. And so the challenge with making progress in our life is it's tough to manage multiple fronts at the same time. That's why we don't do this. That's why we struggle with year by year. That's why our story feels like it's stuck, and it's just like, man, I'm trying to make progress, but I don't know how or why. It's because we feel ambushed by one of those different sides instead of facing out and acknowledging, I have a north, I have a south, I have an east, I have a west. Now I've got all my bases covered. And the thing that keeps me centered is living out of a centered life, knowing that my life is centered on Christ, on God, that He is the center. He is the thing that's keeping me grounded. He's the thing that's keeping me grateful. He's the thing that's keeping me growing. And out of that place of strength. When I've got the one thing, and there's no contest, there's no challenge in my thinking. I'm not confused. I know what my real priority is. And when I know what center looks like, then I believe the Lord will help you to see north, south, east, and west clearly, and then to have the courage to go venture out in these little daily excursions north, south, east, and west. So I don't try to conquer my omnipresence to use the map. I'm not trying to take on all four directions in the same day unless I'm showing up in those roles, but what I'm really expecting this year to look like is making incremental yet intentional progress. And that is how we take ground.